Yan!
Yan.
Akalain nyo. Finally,
Oo,
we have an interview episode again after, hindi ko alam how long.
Oo, long time no.
after a decade, mga dre, no? Mauulit ulit. Ito,
Alam mo,
sit down
double
na
check.
natin. No?
After 2
Oo.
million years.
Pero
Ano ba yung...
napakaganda ng topic na to. Tamang-tama lang to, mga dre, no? Pagkatapos ng mahabang break sa pag-i-interview, eto, pinasukan tayo ng isang hindi lang nakalagay dyan, mga dre, no? Is mortgage specialist, di ba? Hindi lang ganun basta-basta, mga dre, no? Ito yung parang sabi ko, ano, from rags to riches, mga dre, no? At kung
Yeah.
mag-succeed si Ate Susan na ma-send sa amin yung picture ng barong-barong nila, kung paano sila nabubuhay dati, kung anong klaseng bahay sila, tingnan nyo yung kabuhayan nila ngayon. Di ba? Talagang sasabihin nyo, wow, di ba? Paano niyang nagawa yun? Di ba? At bukod doon, eto nga mga treno, mortgage specialist dahil sa pangungulit nyo sa amin. Di ba? Mag-guest naman kayo ng hindi vlogger. Yung nagtagumpay sa Canada.
Puro kayo mga
Diba?
walang alam eh. Yan,
Oo. Oh. Di ba?
Tama.
Eto na ang sampal sa inyo.
Oo.
Ito na mga
Okay,
treno.
so thank you so much. Okay, ang kabiyak ng ating paboritong si Kuya Puto, itong anak ko sumasabay pa. Welcome to Spot Pinoy. Hello, Ate Susan. Of course,
Yun.
Susan
Hello!
Mendoza. I'm so happy
Salamat.
I'm sure happy yung mga followers natin. Finally, they have a face dun sa lagi nating tinatawag na Ate Susan.
Oo.
Sa ating mga
Treno.
Welcome, Ate Susan, and thank you again at pinagbigyan
Salamat ulit. I'm very excited to be here.
Ayan.
Hindi kaya
go.
Hindi kaya nanginginig yung ano mo diyan, yung manager mo sa sa gilid.
Kuya Puto. Kuya Puto,
Nadalamig
andyan
yung
lang
kamay ko.
Pakawin mo muna kahit saglit si Kuya Puto nandiyan
Andun siya
ba?
sa ano,
Ang
kumuha ka
manager.
daw.
Kailangan ng moral support kaya Puto.
Sabang pakaway man lang sa gilid.
Pwede daw ba siyang mag-hi, sabi niya. Kasi hindi siya sigurado.
Oo, Kuya Puto, ano ka ba?
Of course, Kuya Puto.
Nakarob kasi siya eh.
Nakarob, the Don. Kuya
Yeah.
Ian, ay, Kuya Puto.
Yun, no?
Okay. So as
Okay,
Rice
Ate
mentioned,
Susan.
yes, we will be asking Ate Susan about buying your first home, especially. Actually, may nag-comment din dun sa thread baka daw pwede rin natin siya tanungin about buying your second home. Later on, siguro sa second half of the episode, we will. Because we will also be chatting with Ate Susan about her life in Canada. Ayan. Sige, unahin mo na nga ang ingin itong bulinggit dito, mag-mute ako. Right, sige, take it away with the, yung sa life muna ni Ate Susan.
Oo, bago ang lahat, Ate Susan, kumbaga, paano ba nagsimula ang buhay mo bago ka nakarating sa Canada? At yun, doon natin simulan, no? Yung sabi mo nga, yung bahay mo, Ate Susan, no? Papakita natin sa kanila yung masakit na nakaraan.
Hindi ako sure. Mamaya ako isa-send, di ba yun? Yung itsura
Oo,
ng
kailangan
bahay.
Put it up sa editing na. Sige, after Ate Susan.
Yeah, so basically, yung journey namin dito sa Canada, let's go back in 1979. Nag-asawa yung nanay ko with a Canadian. So yung bunso namin, dito na pinanganak sa Surrey, sa Vancouver, sa BC. So nandun kami ng 79 to 1982. So 5 years old ako nun. Nung 79, ganun. 5 years old, 79. So namatay yung stepdad namin. So inuwi kami ng mami namin kasi 4 kami. So nung umuwi kami, nagstay na kami sa Pilipinas from 82 to 94. So yun ang journey namin. But she decided to send us back home. I always say she shipped us back home kasi hindi niya kami kayang buhayin dito. Maybe nakapag-stay kami with single mom, siya lang nag-iisa. We could have survived. Naka-welfare siguro kami ganun or kung ano yung ginawa niya. But she chose to take us back home. Yung lola ko nag-alaga sa amin from 82 to 87. Tapos namatay yung lola ko. Nung after nun, doon na nag-start na kami na lang na mga bata. So 87, I was about 12, 13. Ako na ang nag-lead sa aming 4. So there's like, yeah. So kaya magaling ako magluto ng tortang talong. Lahat ng klase ng pritong talong. But anyways, real story yon. Ganun ang nangyari sa amin. And until 87, palipat-lipat kami ng bahay. To the point na, alam mo yung kariton? Tutulak yung kariton. Iyak pa ako dito. Yung kariton, itutulak mo kasi parang hindi naman kami pinalayas, but there's no choice because it wasn't our home. So pamilya nila yon, they would choose their family over us. So we had to leave the house nang nagstay kami nung una. Hahanap kami sa bayan, baryo-baryo, just to ask, wala kami kamag-anak eh. So just to ask other people for us to take us, naggabi na yon. 10, 11 years old ako nun. So yun yung natatandaan ko, napalipat-lipat kami.
Parang hirap ng buhay ng talaga, Susan.
Yeah, so tapos nung 1987, nung matay lola ko, yung isang pamilya na, parang ano na din namin, family or cousin, far cousin, tinake nila kami. But they didn't have space in their house, so they made us a shed, which is the barong-barong. Alam mo yung yero sa Pilipinas, isang yero ganito kalaki?
Yeah.
I think it's like 1, 2, 3, or 4 yero. Tapos, dinilagay sa gilid ng ng bahay nila. And then yung floor namin, lupa lang or gravel, they put ping pong table. That was our basically base ng bahay. And then may table na, may banggera na doon, and then may box. So, can you picture it?
Yeah, oo.
Wow.
Ilan kayo doon, Ate Susan? Apat?
Oo.
Apat kami na, I was in grade 3, grade 2, grade 3, and then yung brother ko, grade 1 siguro, kasi 2 years ang gap namin. And then I had 1978 and 79 yung pinakabata namin. So yun yung is it too much? But anyways, yun ang namin. So that's what we know. Hindi ko inisip na ang hirap naman namin. We were just happy that, we had a shed over, we had a roof over our head, di ba? Nothing like, walang reklamo.
Akala ko mahirap na yung buhay ko, Ate Susan, ha?
Oo,
pero...
How did you pay for your food? Yan, where did you find food?
Well, yung mommy ko was in Canada, right? But she didn't know this was happening to us.
Oh.
Yeah, so ang alam lang niya, we were staying at a family's bahay, ganon. But there are other things, but we're still thankful despite na kung ano mang nangyari. I just left it behind na kasi we wouldn't be here kung di yung journey yun, di ba? So we're still thankful sa mga nag-alaga sa amin, directly or indirectly. Kasi sabi nga nung kapatid ko, siguro naubos na yung utak mo nung bata kasi ngayon parang minsan wala ako sa sarili ko kasi mandakin mo 11, 12 years old, I was doing everything for us already.
Oo, tsaka ano ka na nun, may isip ka na nung 11 and 12 eh. Kumbaga ikaw lahat sa mga magkakapatid, ikaw lahat yung parang nakaranas ng di ba? Kasi nakakaintindi
ako nakakaalam kung ano yung mahirap, but in a way, like I said, that was the norm for us. So we didn't think it was hirap or anything. You just look back and say, oh my goodness, right? So, yun.
So,
so what happened was, kasi at that time, wala pang social media. So your mom didn't know nga kasi it will take a while before tatawag muna yan di ba? Tapos she had no idea that.
So sa inyo sa Manila kayo, si Kuya Rice probably knows this. Pumunta kami sa Cabanatuan where this isang PLDT doon, nakapila para lang magtumawag sa phone. Or ano yung tawag doon sa, it's not fax. There's something na, is it telegram?
Yung telegram?
Yun. Maghihintay pa kami, nakapila pa para lang may or may nangyari, ganun. Yung buhay na ganun. Saka yung sa OFW, totoo yun. Tapos sige, tapusin na natin sa Pilipinas because there's more story to that. But to make it short, nung 1991 or 1992, my mom decided to take us back. Nalus na namin yung PR namin yata kasi it's been a while, right? But because yung brother ko pinanganak na sa BC, no problem for him. He has a Canadian passport. Kaming tatlo, madali lang din because she's been staying sa Canada ng matagal na, di ba? But I think my mom, I'm not sure, nung time na bumalik siya dito sa Canada noong 1982, somehow, portion ng 82 to maybe 87, hindi siya makabalik na sa Pilipinas. Bumalik siya ng 86, 87 sa Pilipinas. After nun, nagstay yata siya kasi parang, I don't know if she was TNT At the time, di ako sure. Parang nawala ng papers.
Ng status,
He had to go through all of those too. But because marami ng mga Pilipinong mga mababait tumutulong sa kabayan, you know, may mga community na din na ganun back in like early 80s. So, nakasurvive siya.
Wow.
Tapos ang alam ko nung bumalik kami, because we were 4, right? Nakapag-CEU pa ako ng first year university. Dentistry ako sa CEU. Humiram lang yung mami ko ng $5,000 sa friend. There was a good friend na pinautang yata siya ng ticket money. Tapos hinulugan na lang pagbalik. Yeah. So that's how we were able to come back in June of 1994. So from noon, yun ang journey ng 1994. Pagdating dito, yun na.
Pagdating dito, naging magaan na ba yung buhay, Ate Susan, nung bumalik kayo rito?
No. So pagdating namin dito galing ng airport, natatandaan ko pa yung kapatid ko. Nasa bachelor yung mami ko, di ba? Bachelor room. I think it was like $525 pa ang rent ng bachelor. So, kapatid ko pumasok ng mas pinto. Binubuksan niya, ito kwarto ko. Walang kwarto. Kasi bachelors lang siya. Everything was there. So 5 kami dun sa bachelor for a few months. And then move kami sa 2-bedroom after a few months. But, so if you want to hear the story, so yung mami ko nag-decide at the time, she was, nagtatrabaho sa Economical Mutual Insurance. Siya, parang back office help. I think she was earning $14,000 a year at the time. $14,000. How are we gonna survive?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she decided to leave her work. Ito, behind the scene na to, I know marinig ng mga kabayan natin to, but this is what happened and this is real life sa Canada at the time. Unless you had like, my mom was a single mom. She didn't have a companion or asawa. Never siya nag-asawa. So, wala din siyang pinag-aralan, hindi din siya graduate. So, she did all sorts of job, career, and everything, masipag. So, she decided, I think somebody must have told her about, leave your job. Nag-welfare kami for a few years. At that time, we were 4 kids, and my mom, I think she was getting, kaya wala akong masabi sa mga naka-welfare kasi it depends sa situation mo. Some people are using the system. Some people really need the system. And for us that we are working now, and I understand, kahit na nagbabayad tayo ng tax, I know somehow sa atin may magrereklamo, but there are people really that are in need of it. Like, you know, yung mga ibang naka-welfare. That's why there is a system na ganun. Pero yeah, I think at the time, mga 2,500 or 2,400.
Wow, so mas favorable pa yun, Ate Susan, kaysa magtrabaho.
That's why she left, and then she does cleaning on the side. So I went back to school kasi first year ng university noon, I had to go back to grade 12 when I came back here. So nag-aaral bumalik ako sa high school, at yung mga kapatid ko, of course. And then nung summer ng 1994, so 1995, after a year na, that's when I had 3 jobs. I had 2 McDonald's job, and I had sa mga taga-Toronto, kitchen table on Lawrence and Yonge. Subway station. So actually 4 jobs at a time. Meron pang Raba, narinig niyo na ba yung Raba?
Ano yun?
Raba is like a tiny grocery convenience store in Toronto. So yeah. So yeah, ganon. Talagang the struggle is real, but at the time, you don't know na ganon ang buhay mo kasi it's the norm. Parang walang choice. You just have to do it. You just keep doing it, di ba?
Especially galing ka sa Pilipinas, yung naging buhay mo ron, Ate Susan, di ba?
Sa Pilipinas, hindi ako nagtrabaho naman nandun. Jollibee lang yata for like 3 months before we left. But like I said, that was the norm. Hindi ko inisip na naghihirap. Kami, ano na lang kami na, may tinitiran kami. Hindi kami nababasa. Yun lang nasa isip namin. So kaya maanong puso ko sa mga kailangan kasi naranasan ko yun eh. Yun ang story.
Parang ang dami pang pwedeng ikwento ni Ate Susan, no? But let's
Totoo nga sabi ni Kuya Puto, pang ano to, maalaala mo kaya yung buhay natin.
And the journey is amazing because for those who might not know, so Ate Susan obviously is in a better position right now. To the point na she and Kuya Puto actually decided to take Kuya Puto out of his, get him into retirement na, di ba? Nag-claim na siya ng retirement there. And just help her out in the house while Ate Susan does her business. Di ba?
Yeah.
She's that, at that stage. So, ang layo na Ate Susan.
Very thankful. Yeah, don't
how
forget
did
to
you end
count
up
your
ito na
blessings.
how did you end up being a mortgage specialist now, Ate Susan? When
So
did it start?
mortgage specialist. That was I have a friend, one of my best friends sa Toronto, si Leia. She was working at the bank since '99, and then nasa Aurelia ako dati, Aurelia, Ontario, and I was a single mom already with my firstborn. He's 25 now. Umalis ako ng Aurelia, may Casino Rama doon, and na-transfer kami ng Toronto. Umalis na ako kasi naghiwalay na kami ng ex ko. So pagdating ng Toronto, doon ako yung sinasabi na naka-welfare. I actually had welfare for 4 months kasi normal naman EI. Instead of EI, I took welfare so I can have for my son. August, balik ko ng Toronto sa Scarborough, and then by December, yung friend ko sabi niya, uy, nag-hire ng part-time teller sa bangko, which is Bank of Montreal. So I went for interview ng December 17. Tinawagan ako ng December 24. Can you start December 31? That was 2001. So within 2 weeks span, from not having a job, nag-start na ako ng training ko. And dun yung time na nakilala ko si Puto, siyang driver ko, sweet lover.
Yan!
So,
Saan mo siya
very
nakilala?
convenient. Ha?
Saan mo siya nakilala, si Kuya Puto?
So, si Kuya Puto, we had a mutual friend na katrabaho ko sa casino dati na lumipat sa Brantford. So, pinakilala kaming dalawa. A month before. So, a month after, dinadrive na niya ako everywhere. So, ngayon, things happen for a reason, right? So, yung interview ko went well kasi I didn't have to take PTC or whatever. He took me to the interview sa the first day ko sa trabaho. So, yun, yung teller. Teller, ang prerequisite nila as a teller, as long as you're high school graduate, customer service, you have it. Akong background ko is like McDonald's. It's one of the number one training, kung saan ka makakuha ng magandang training, di ba? For service. Kasi mga franchisee yun, yung mga owner, they make sure inaalagaan yung mga customer, di ba? Magandang training ground go. So I always thank McDonald's for that.
I see. Wow. And then the rest is history. I guess
the rest is history. Yeah. So, later on, you can ask me about the ins and outs of what you can do within the bank because there's a career in the bank. Some people, they say, nung una, teller lang yan, forever teller. No, if you actually find a good mentor, yung iba ngayon nowadays, yung journey ko is a bit longer because I didn't know much, right? So from teller, 3 years ako 2.5 years akong ganun, almost 3 years na teller. Tapos naging personal banker ako from 2003 to 2015, personal banker ako, where you open account, GICs, everything, name it, everything in the bank, investments. And then nag-branch manager ko after ng personal banker. 2015 to 2017 sa BMO. From 2001 to 2017, nasa Bank of Montreal ako. But if you have a good mentor and ginaguide ka, nowadays, yung journey ko from teller to personal banker to bank manager, within 2 years or less, you can do it if you know what to do. Yeah. And you don't have to have, unless mag-regional vice president ka or something like that, you don't need an MBA, you don't need a college degree. Of course, it's a good indication na mapapasok ka, but if you show them that you can do the job and you can take care of the clients, you can be a branch manager. But kasi masyado mali.
Mukhang interesado si Ina, Ate Susan, no?
Papa-mentor.
There's a career sa bangko nga talaga. Merong there's so much department ng the branch is just a tiny aspect ng bangko. May corporate, my law department, my marketing department, IT department. Like kahit na maging teller ka for like 6 months, tapos graduate ka ng IT, mag-apply ka, you have a better chance to get the job when your foot is on the door already.
So, Ate Susan, natatandaan ko sinabi ni Kuya Puto, from bank manager, lumipat ka daw ng parang nag-quit ka as bank manager eh.
Lumipat ako kasi Kasi yun yung sinasabi namin na, so for 17 years, I know I do well because I take care of my clients and my employees, right? May isang dumating na higher up sa akin. All of a sudden, within a month, she tells me, I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing well my job, and I don't know how to take care of people. Sabi ko nga, 100% yung survey ko sa customer, saka sa employee ko, and then all of a sudden, yung pala, in a way, parang hindi niya ako gusto. Yung parang, I don't know kung ano yung word doon? Na-inggit or na ano. Kasi sabi ko, I don't want to be a regional vice president. I'm not a managerial kind of employee. I cannot manage people. I can lead because I know how to do the job. There's a difference between being a leader and a manager. For me, managing people, wala. Kasi I'm a doer kasi. Doers, you want to be able to do what you need to do. Ginawa ng tao, you're gonna end up doing it. Which is, manager hindi pwede yun dahil you need to delegate. I cannot delegate kasi nahihiya ako or hindi naman ako natatakot, but I just wanted to get it done. So, parang hindi niya nagustuhan na everything was doing well. So to the point na ira-write up niya ako na ganun. So sabi ko, no, I think it's time. And then nag-apply ako sa RBC. RBC hired me as a manager. So I was like on training. Ganun kasi, kapag lumipad ka ng bangko, they don't just put you on the spot unless they really need you. I was on training for like, parang ko sa mga 3 branches for almost a year. But then along the training, and I said, I think I need to go back to what I love na ginagawa ko, which is taking care of client directly, which is personal banking and mortgage specialist nga ako dati nung bago naging manager, di ba? So, bumalik ako noong 2018. So, from there noon, ito na. Mortgage specialist na ako the whole time. And then, umalis nga ako ng RBC noong 2023 because I think it's time already for me to be able to help more people, more customer, and give more options. Kasi at least hindi lang ako tied up sa isang product. Kung RBC says no, then I won't be able to give them other option. I have to refer them to somebody else. Why can't I do it for them if I can, di ba? So yun. That's where I am now. So
yun. Saka hindi lang to mga dre, hindi lang to basta-bastang mortgage specialist ha. Siya yung number, Ate Susan? You're on the top, di ba?
Kasi sa Brantford, may voting sila, di ba? So I'm thankful naman na sinusuportahan ako ng community. Not just Filipino community, anybody, na natutulungan natin. And
ilang taon kang nasa Ate Susan? Nasa top?
Oh, since I started.
Wow.
Yeah. Kasi nung nasa Bank of Montreal ako, like ang tawag dun is perennial awardee. Which is perennial just comes back every year. So yun ang magaling sa atin na because when we know the route to succeed, you always cry for that. You always want that. Parang tayo, may hindi naman ego, but we have that sense of pride. In a way, you're not just doing it because you want to get the acknowledgement or honor, but at the same time, it's a consolation when you know you're able to help customers. It's a consolation when you know they call you after 2 months and say, hey, Susan, thank you very much. This is a life, changing moment for us. And you can feel it pagka tumatawag sila. So yun lang. Yun ang ko.
Yun ang Ate Susan na pinag-uusapan natin dito, mga dre, no? Kung sino si Ate Susan, di ba? It's not just a mortgage specialist, di ba?
Pasensya na kayo kasi ilang ko nag-interview.
Yeah. And then, it's a big deal, I think, Ate Susan, for, let's say, ito na nga, first-time home buyers. Sometimes they feel shy, nahihiya sila na parang lumapit sa mga specialist, mortgage specialist because baka maliitin yung background nila. Hindi naman pala kaya ma-afford. Yan yung mga concerns nila. So, if they know that you actually had similar experiences, struggling with poverty, mga ganyan, I think it helps out, di ba? With how you...
Saka, speaking of first-time home buyers, so may mga client na nahihiya nga, totoo yun. They feel awkward, they feel shy. But let me go back in 2007. In 2007, I claimed bankruptcy. I was with Kuya Puto, but we were not together, right? We were boyfriend and girlfriends, but I had my own thing. I had to claim bankruptcy in 2007. Although my bankruptcy, so I'm not I don't feel awkward or shy to tell. It helps my customer when I tell them my story. At the time, I didn't have my mutual funds license yet. I was just doing everything else at the bank. And it was actually a good timing because if I had my mutual license back then, maapektuhan yung work ko sa banko because you cannot have bankruptcy when you're working at the bank. But like, maybe you can stay, but there's a lot of questions and stuff because how can you be working at the bank? They deem it to be irresponsible against
Yeah,
yun ang
yeah.
ano doon. But I had my own story, right? I didn't have much support from as a single mom, and I was as a financial advisor. I was paying rent and stuff. It wasn't enough at the time until we decided to combine our efforts. Then that changed. But so 2007, and it was bankruptcy. So na-discharge siya ng 2008 November. So because may issue pa doon because so what I'm trying to say is even though may issue na ganun, it can be done. So when I was in university in 1998, 1999, I had consumer proposal.
Wow.
Okay, so in 2007, typically when you go for bankruptcy, the discharge timing is only 9 months. But because consumer proposal is under Bankruptcy Act as well, para ka nang double bankruptcy noon. So yung discharge moment mo, there's an extension. So na-discharge ako a few months after. Instead of November to November, April, they added 5 months, which is not so bad. And then after na, in 2013, to make it short na, I was able to buy my first house in 2013. Kuya Puto bought his house, second house, that's a different story, 2008. Doon kami nag-joint efforts na noon after 2007. Pero nakapangalan siya doon sa parents niya hanggang ngayon sa Oakville. But yeah, so 2013, so that's April 2009, right?
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13. After 4 years, I was able to purchase a home just in my name. After 4, you don't have to wait for the 7 years. Sometimes with customers, go ahead.
Tama. There's di ba yung sinasabi, you have to wait. It will be on
7
your
years.
record for 7 years, whether bankruptcy or consumer proposal.
Kahit hindi mo na siya
Hindi ka
hintayin.
makakakilos, parang
Yeah.
ganun.
So that's why it's important to chat, to connect and talk to your financial advisor. It doesn't matter who it is. But me, yung learning ko na yun, I always apply with my customer. The moment you go claim bankruptcy or proposal, make sure you have one credit card running to rebuild your credit already. You don't have to wait for after your discharge or after 7 years. It's gonna be too late. So marami na ako natulungan na nag-bankruptcy, double bankruptcy. It's easier for me to say because I went through that bankruptcy and I tell that story, right? So it
Parang
can be
sinasabi
done.
nila, sorry Ate Susan about dun sa credit card nang nag-declare ng bankruptcy. Parang wala naman nagtitiwalang magbigay ng credit card sa kanila dahil nga nag-declare sila ng bankruptcy at yung clearance sa kanila is after 7 years pa.
Yeah, so there's one company in Canada, I'm not affiliated, but I always send my customers to Capital One. There's something called Guaranteed MasterCard. They don't discriminate anybody. That's the whole point they built that, I think, is because of this, people because so who else? Somebody has to help them, right?
Yeah.
So with the Capital One Guaranteed MasterCard, it has to be the guaranteed kung talagang freshly bankrupt mo pa lang or proposal, you can actually apply unless you actually bankrupt their card. So that's different story.
Kailangan hindi mo siya na-bankrupt. Hindi siya kasali.
So, yeah. So, I think there are instances that they still give you, but you would have to give the deposit. Let's say they give you $300 limit. They're gonna ask for 300. Okay? Instead of 75 or 100, they want the whole thing. Kung di ka magbayad, at least they have their $300.
So that's possible pala, Ate Susan. Kahit kaka-declare mo lang, pwede ka na rin agad mag-apply.
Pwede kang mag-apply. That's why it's always good to, not everybody knows that, and not everybody's able to advise that. But I can actually scoop that and tell the customer right away kasi nga, been there, done that.
Yeah.
So it's proven. Until now, the same policies and procedure, it still applies. But you need to rebuild your You cannot have to, nag-bankruptcy ka, yay! Order na naman lang kung ano, di ba? Make sure yung mga cellphone, mga utility bills, Hindi ka
babayaran.
nire-record doon ng for good credit. They record you when you miss a payment. So you have to be diligent
Mhm.
for paying those bills. Yeah.
Yun, oo, kahit sa maliit na halaga, no?
Mm-mm.
Pero nagulat ako sa istorya mo, Ate Susan, no? Parang na-amaze ako kung gaano kabilis yung turnaround ng buhay mo, di ba? From bankruptcy to a house owner.
I had, like I said, when you find, I think somebody was guiding us. I always believe that, somebody or somehow, somewhere. I believe in that. But yeah, just you have to have a goal and you have to promise yourself that, hey, I don't want to be in this hole anymore. And somehow, may mga mentor ko and then we meet nga good people na nag-advise sa amin. Like I said, your peers doesn't have to be the same age. It could be older than you, sometimes even younger than you.
Younger than you.
Pag may nakitang ginagawa nila na tama, hey, I wonder what they're doing, right? So, why not ask? So,
Mali yata yung group of friends natin, Mark, ah.
Oo, huwag mahiyang
Time to slow,
magtanong.
baka mali, no? I remember si Kuya Puto din ang nagsasabi niyan di ba? Very important yung people you surround yourselves with. If you want to be, better, if you want to better your future as well.
And also, you would gravitate to that circle as well pag yung sarili mo mismo, you're changing and so you want something done, makikita mo may mga na-attract kang ibang type ng tao.
Na katulad ng gusto mo, no?
Ng mindset mo.
Oo.
Saka, I remain positive. Like, I can, even like I said, because yung lola ko, I think it helped a lot na I'm very thankful na hindi kami nagstay dito sa Canada going back in 1982. I don't know kung ano kami, baka, mga... Anyways. But yeah, I'm thankful na lumaki ako sa lola ko because I think yung foundation ng lola ko sa amin nakatulong yun, yeah. Like, the people around us too, yung culture sa Pilipinas, it's like, yung matyaga, hindi reklamador, kahit na may sakit ka, hindi ka nagreklamo unless you're dying, right? Yung mga ganon. Hindi mo alam, hika pala dito, talagang ginagamot doon. Sige, huminga ka lang lagyan ka lang ng konting oregano, tapos na, di ba? Yeah. So hindi reklamador, just do your thing and be positive all the time, right? Kasi, ang unang-una is, who am I to complain when I know how it is in the Philippines back home, di ba?
Totoo.
I always say I would always choose my stress here than what it could have been in the Philippines. That's just for me. That's just for me. Kasi, di ba?
That makes sense.
Mas mabigat. Ayun, tanong ng lahat.
Eto, si Ina, kasi since Susan, si Ina kasi balak na itong bumili ng bahay in the near future, di ba? Oo, Ina, I think ikaw mas maganda magtanong dyan eh.
Okay, alam nyo, I will be open about it. Nag-consult na ako kay Ate Susan,
Aha.
Ayun. May tanong ako kay Ate Susan, yan. Ang tanong ng lahat.
Naglalag ba ako?
Oo, naglalag ng konti.
Parang naglalag ka.
Ayun. May tanong ako ng baka tanong din to ng lahat na, what are the fees for your services? Yan, Ate Susan.
Okay, what are the fees? So depende yan. Typically, there are no fees if, kasi let's call it this way. Prime lending is A lending, which are the big banks, credit unions, or any primary banks. Yun yung walang mga fees yun. When you hit B lending would be where you would have issues on your credit, you have blemishes on your credit. There would be lender fees. And then hindi controlled yon ng mortgage agent as me because those are lender fees. There's something called broker fees, which we can negotiate because I work for a brokerage. They need to get paid to be able to pay me. Typically, they would charge 1% for the lender and 1% for the broker. Depending yung broker, you can negotiate that. Okay? But lender, you can never. It's always one. Sometimes it's two when you're asking for a low loan. One customer that I had, they only borrowed $100,000 as a second mortgage. They charged 2%. So meaning it cost him $2,000 to get a loan of a second mortgage. But it was worth it for them because they were paying 19%, 24%, even 30% on those Fairstone or Money Mart or anything like that. They didn't know they can do the second mortgage because sometimes they don't ask. They're just waiting for the renewal to happen. They don't know that they have actually alternative ways to, or options to make it better for them, their situation, di ba? So those are the B lenders, kung ganun sitwasyon. And then there's a C lender, which is the private lending. And that's a different story. Again, private lending, they have their own fees, and it can range from 2.5 to 5%, depending on the situation. So it's always best to chat and connect with a mortgage agent, because each and every situation is different. But Prime Lending Bank, free, walang bayad.
Walang bayad.
The only charge you would have is basic processing fee, which is appraisal. If you're refinancing, that's actually charged to the customer, unless the appraisal becomes automated. Sometimes $99, sometimes automatic. Basta yung system lang, okay, we're okay that the value of your house is this, hindi na nila kailangan ng full appraisal, wala na pupunta sa bahay. So walang charge. Registration or legal fees, typically, kapag yung hindi nyo kailangan pumunta ng doctor, ng lawyer, it's $860 ang charge doon, which can be tacked on to the mortgage and taken from the proceeds. So you don't have to take it from your pocket. Kasama na doon sa ano yun niya. Yung appraisal lang upfront, may pino-front ng ano. Yeah, yun lang, which is about $400 typically.
At Ate Susan, tanong, kumbaga, bakit mas magandang lumapit sa'yo kaysa let's say sa RBC or sa BMO, sa mga malalaking bangko? Bakit mas magandang sa'yo pumunta kaysa sa kanila?
So, not necessarily magandang lumapit sa akin or mortgage broker. When I was at RBC, hindi ako bububuhat ng bangko ko, but I know I took care of my customer, that they didn't have to go somewhere else. I was straightforward. I was honest with them. This is what you can do. This is this. If you have a mortgage, not mortgage, you have a financial advisor that takes care of you and always does what's best for you, I would stay, as a customer, I would stay there. Because I know they'll do everything for me, what's best for the family or my family, di ba? But the only difference now is it's not even about the service now. It's about who can save money for our family, who can give us a better cash flow. So yun ang magkakatulunan, kasi a lot of times yung 5 big banks or bigger banks, they have higher interest rates. There are prime lendings that are called monolines. Monolines are the ones that specialize just in mortgages. Banks, you have a lot of stuff that they do, right? Plus they have a brick and mortar. May mga office sila. So yung, I don't know if you've heard of MCAP, RMG, RFA, CMLS, they just specialize in mortgages. So they're able to give better rates to customer. So that's what the bank can't do. I can actually take them and shop for them dun sa mga prime lending na monolines.
Wow.
Or sometimes PD would have a better option from BMO or RBC, but I can work with BMO, Scotia, and TD Bank with the big banks. CIBC is not in the broker's line, RBC is not in the broker's line. And then all the credit unions and other financial institutions, we can work with them, we work with them.
I see. So, parang ganito, Ate Susan, no? Kasi instead na mag-apply ako sa bangko, di ba? Pwede nila ako ma-reject, di maghaharap na naman ako ng ibang bangko. Kung sino pwedeng magtumanggap sa ano ko, sa financial status ko. Kung sa'yo ako lalapit, ikaw na yung maghahanap sa akin ng kung saan ako pwede.
Yeah. So, magandang tanong yan. Kasi a lot of times, if you go hop into bank to bank, each bank will do a credit check on you. Kung ikaw yung tipo ng customer na you have a blemish on your credit, nasaktan yung credit mo, kailangan mo yung credit score mo, every single
inquiry,
every hit ng credit, bumababa, it can be 1.2 points or 3 points. What if you're on the cusp of 680, naging 665 ka, and then there's like a threshold ng ano mo, di ba? Ang mortgage agent, I had a bias on this too when I was working for the bank. Because kala ko dati noon, sige, i-shop around ka nila sa maraming bangko. Credit check, credit check, credit check. No. So, pag nag-credit check ang mortgage agent, compare sa bangko, isa lang sa kanila kasi yun ang kailangan nila, yun ang pwede nilang gawin, di ba? We can actually use the same report to each and every lender. As long as it's within 30 days, we can use that for us. So, walang hit. Isa lang ang hit.
Oo.
credit. And I didn't know that because I had a client when I was on the other side before. I said, I don't think that's true until I actually am doing it now. And a lot of times, kapag customer is not ready, I don't really do a credit check. Kasi what if we really need those points? As long as I say, hey, be true to the application, put in your information there because I can have the live calculation, dollar per dollar, and yung loan to value ratio, we can actually see it on the application. So I don't need to do a credit check as long as we know na walang utang or may kotse, nag-co-sign ka ba. Kung ipa-plug in natin lahat doon, I don't need to do a credit check because the system calculates it like talagang number to number.
Totoo pala, no? Na pag yung every credit check, makaka-apekto sa credit score mo, Ate Susan, no?
Yeah, well, I would say kung mortgage ang hinahanap mo, it's okay to do that. But if you know you got turned down somewhere else, chances are, yung kabila, unless the actual person knows your story, I always say, kaya kailangan kausapin yung hindi pwedeng mag-a-apply ka lang, binigay mo yung key form mo, may bad credit ka, tinurn down ka nila based on your bad credit. If I'm not able to talk to you, and I don't know your story, because may automated system yan eh. If they see it's bad credit or whatever, turn down na yun, di ba? Makikita nila yan. That's when a person, a human being comes in and write your story. There's a story to tell. Customer had bad credit, had a separation or whatever, something happened, somebody got sick, nangyayari na hindi nakapay ng payment kasi may nagkagulo, may hindi nakabayad ng ano, ganun, di ba? So, those are the things na a human person na pag tinanong ka, nakinig sa'yo, isinulat yung story mo doon. Kasi yung mga adjudicator sa likod, sa back office, tao din yun eh. May buhay din, diba? So if you put your story there, if you have a good advisor or mortgage agent to put that story there, chances are ma-approve yung story mo. But if it's like, okay, bad credit, ganun na, wala na.
I think Ate Susan, itong sinasabi mo is especially useful for those na sinasabi mong hindi perfect ang credit score.
Yes.
Because I know some people din naman, Ate Susan, I mean, sinasabi nila, no, minsan pwede ka naman gumalaw ng sarili mo without a mortgage specialist. You go directly down to the bank to apply for your mortgage. I guess they can do it if maganda talaga ang credit score nila, no? But what Ate Susan is saying is for those na baka mas kailangan ng konting push with people like Ate Susan to help the banks understand why, despite your not so good credit, posible ka pa rin, dapat ka pa rin sigurong pagbigyan. Tama ba? Parang
yeah, tama yun. 2 ways, 2 parts yun. Tama yun because it doesn't necessarily mean my bad credit you go to the B lending right away. This is when how good your mortgage agent. As a mortgage agent, you can park that title. I am more of an advisor than just a mortgage agent because yung background ko, di ba? Nasa yung tinanong mo, yeah. So basically yung sa ano na yung ano yung tinanong mo nakalimutan ko.
No, yung parang yung useful yung pagkakaroon ng
mortgage agent
na to help somebody with not so good credit, parang ganyan.
Oh yeah, you just have to know, like you have to know who you're chatting. There a lot of times you Google the person, right? If they have a good rating, you know that they're doing a good job. Like the banks, a lot of times the turnarounds 2 to 3 days. Again, you have to find someone. It doesn't have to be a mortgage agent. It's per person's needs. Yun ang
parang Ate Susan, kunyari ako, parang nag-iisip ako na ma-aprobahan ba ako o hindi. Mas magandang pumunta talaga ako sa katulad mo para malaman talaga kung ano yung status ko sa pagkuha ng bahay.
It's always good to chat with someone ahead of time. Speaking of that, di ba mapag-usapan yung mga RSP, ganon, right? Mga loans and stuff like that. So, a lot of times yung mortgage agent said, kumuha kayo ng loan para makatulong sa inyo. We have to be careful on that too because what if you're buying within a few months and then may loan kayo? You took a loan for $30,000. Yes, you have the money, but now you have the liability. So parang may car payment din kayo, loan payment, di ba? Meron kayong, so if you're gonna have a loan, think of getting the loan maybe a year ahead or 2 years ahead. That way, pag kinuha nyo yung loan, magpa-file kayo ng taxes nyo, then you get a credit back or refund. then meron na kayo ng RSP nyo, but yung refund, pwede nyo bayad doon sa loan, bababa na, di ba? Hopefully, you can restructure that and lower the payments.
Okay. Oh, wait 15 minutes na lang. Ano ba yan? Kailangan natin
Dami-
natin yung mga
may
medyo...
tatanong pa ako.
Oo.
Oh,
Ate
sige,
Susan,
sige.
tanong ko, marami rin to, malamang marami nanonood dyan na may bahay na katulad ko. Paano yung, may naririnig akong hilok eh. Ano yon yung hilok na yon?
So, HELOC basically is a homeowner line of credit. Okay? So, in Canada, ang rule ng HELOC is, let's say free and clear yung bahay mo. You are able to borrow up to 65% of the value of your home. Free and clear. So, 65%. Kung may mortgage ka na, let's say, let's use $100,000 as an example. Okay?
Oo, yan.
May mortgage ka, ang mortgage mo is $50,000, right? To get a HELOC, if you have a mortgage, the Canada will allow you, yung rules, to borrow up to 80% of the value of your home. So 65 plus 15 is 80,000, right? Which is 80%. So you can get a HELOC of 15,000 kung may mortgage. 75, sorry. Sa 80, so 30,000 pwede mo kung may mortgage ka na 50. So 30,000 to meet the 80% valuation. Pwede ka ba ng 30,000 HELOC? So, ang HELOC, most of the time, you still need to pass yung rules and regulation. Unless you're going through the B lenders or private lenders. A lot of private lenders, I don't think they do HELOCs anyways, but B lenders, you're subjected to yung approval. Not because, hey, you have equity, you can just take the money out, right? You still have to pass. You still have to pass the total debt ratio versus income mo. But there are lenders.
Parang katulad sa akin, kunyari yung sa akin, di ba? O pagka magre-renew na kasi ko di ba, malapit na. Hindi ako, pwede akong kumuha nung sinasabi nilang hilok nga. Kunyari 200 yung bahay ko. Magkano aaprobahan nilang hilok na ganun?
So hilok, kung may mortgage, kung wala kang mortgage, 65% total. Pero kung mortgage ka, pwede ng 80%.
Kung may mortgage ka pa, kunyari 200.
Ang value ng bahay?
Oo.
Okay, magkano mortgage mo ngayon?
200,000, 178 na lang. Oh, parang ano to, live ba?
Kung 200 baka mong value ng bahay mo?
Ay, hindi na. Mataas na ngayon.
For example, give me the value. If you were to sell your house, magkano ang value ng bahay mo ngayon?
300.
Kunyari lang. Kunyari,
mga
yeah.
300.
Estimate.
Mga
300.
So 300 times 80%. So 240 is the maximum loan that you can borrow. Minus your 178. So you can have a $60,000 HELOC on the side.
Okay, yung pala yun, Mark.
Ayun.
Yeah.
Oo.
So two ways you can do this. You can have a standalone mortgage and standalone line of credit. 62,000 hindi bababa, hindi tataas. Forever 62 ang value niya as long as you don't refinance. Or you can do something called a home line plan or a flex sa TD or a BMO HRLC, home ready line. So basically, you're going to have a limit of 100 or 240. So mortgage mo portion is 178. Yung 62, mag-start ng 62 as HELOC. As you pay down your mortgage, 62 can go as high as the value ng 65%. Let's say, nabayaran mo ng $100,000 yung mortgage mo, then 162 na magiging HELOC mo. So there's a questionnaire, there's like calculation doon.
Paano yung ganyang sistema, Ate Susan? Pwedeng lumapit din. Si Mark, gusto niyang gawin yan? Lalapit din ba siya sa'yo para ma-assist mo siya? Pwede ba yung ganon?
Yeah, we can help. May access desk kami anywhere in Canada. And the only one is in Quebec. I actually have a partner sa Quebec na ni-refer ko kasi ibang regulation ng Quebec. Special case.
Pasaway talaga tong Quebec di ba?
Yeah, I've had clients.
Ang
si Ate Susan, Canada-wide
65 ang pwedeng kung makuha.
65, up to 80 ka kasi may mortgage ka eh.
Oo, 65.
Yeah.
Ate Susan, may nagtatanong pala. Abot ka ba hanggang US?
Sa US, we don't do directly sa US, but may partners kami to make sure you're taken care of.
Yun. Oo.
O, teka, ako naman, ito na.
Ito na, ito yung bibili ng bahay.
Tayo. Ate Susan, totoo ba na for those who are thinking about buying their first homes, totoo ba itong mga usap-usapan na bababa ang presyo ng bahay and starting this year up to the next? Ano ba yung, what's the basis of those reports coming out? na ano ba, what's gonna happen to the housing prices na lang?
Oh.
So my take on the housing, I think it's gonna be balanced on that because it's unheard of sa history ng Canada na bumaba. The only reason na bumaba ngayon is because it was crazy in 2022, right?
Alright.
It was super crazy. The valuation went up high. But I think it calibrated a little bit now. Is sometimes yung mga posting ngayon or yung listing, they actually get sold higher and there are biddings happening.
Yeah. Mhm,
So
okay.
the rate will help. The rate, the forecast is because what's happening right now, there's so many renewals happening within the next 2 years. Actually, nag-start na ngayon hanggang 2026. People are coming off of 1.7 to 2 point something. Canada has to accommodate that kasi they need to help, otherwise mahirapang mag-renew yung mga talagang yung payment, doble, 2.5, 3 times. Because some of them had mortgage ng variable.
Ate Susan, 1.69.
Oh my goodness. Ma-sexy yung ano mo. Congratulations. Kailan ka magre-renew? Oh my goodness.
Next year.
Next year pa. So, pray tayo na mag-calibrate na in 3s or low 3s, right? I don't think we're ever gonna see the 1.69 again. That's, good luck to everybody.
Yun Ate Susan, another question. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng rate cut na ina-announce lagi ngayon ng Bank of Canada? Does that directly mean that we can expect to borrow at lower interest rates? Direct impact ba yun sa bank rates? Yan.
So it's not directly impacted, but you will see when BOC or Bank of Canada, let's say, hey, nag-cut ng 0.5, ang rate ng Bank of Canada is different from may premium sa banko, di ba? Yeah. So majority of banks right now, ang prime is 5.45. Okay. So right away, if the Bank of Canada cuts another 0.5, then that means it's going to be 4.95 minus discount. Sa variable yun na. Variable lang affected nun. Ang fixed rate, it's not directly correlated sa ng variable, pero affected siya konti, but kasi bond yield ang ng fixed rate. So sometimes you would see only 0.10 moving back and forth ng fixed rate kasi hindi sila talaga
magkaparehas.
Directly related. Para tutulog na yung
ang laki pala ng interest ngayon, Mark, pag inabot mo. Magkano kaya, Susan? 5.45
ang prime minus. So, a lot of, see, Mark, since that yan ang mo, kung wala kang gagawin, you should be able to get, it's called insurable rates. Kapareha siya ng mga high ratio rates. So, may 4.19 na, which is still higher than what you have. So, yung payment mo is gonna be double or something like that, right? May calculator din na, kasi 1.67, di ba?
Mark. So, unless dyan.
Parang
so make sure if you're not needing any funds, insurable rate ang kuhanin mo, which is the monolines that I was explaining to you. The bank doesn't do that. You can actually apply for those kind of rates.
Ano bang mas maganda? May sinasabi sila variable ba o fixed?
Depends sa sa comfort mo. Kasi ang variable, a lot of my customers are still going variable because they believe, in the event na bumaba yung rate, they can scoop the better rate because mababa na halos pares ang variable and fixed ngayon eh. So at any time when you go variable or adjustable mortgage, you can scoop the fixed rate, whatever term you have left. What if you fix yourself at 4.39 right now? And then in a few months or third quarter, 3.89. How would you feel? So yun lang yun. It depends sa comfort mo kasi kung hindi, a lot of clients said, I don't care what the rates are. I want to be able to sleep at night. At least I know what I'm paying already. So be it. May mga customer na ganon. May customer na malalakas ang loob. Like, no, it's gonna change. It's okay. That way I have the option of making changes when it's time and I can,
Katulad niya, Ate Susan, magre-renew na si Mark ng malapit na siya mag-renew ng kanyang mortgage. Diba? Iniisip niya, benta ko na kaya kaysa mag-renew ako sa mataas na presyo.
Anong gagawin mo? Magre-rent. Titingnan mo din yung mo doon, di ba? Magkano ang rent? I heard mas mahal ang rent. Di ba? So you weigh your option to talk to an advisor.
Susan.
Do calculation. Like I said, it doesn't have to be necessarily me, but have a relationship with your advisor.
Yung mga advisor ko nga, tawag na
Ate
ng
Susan,
tawag
ito,
sa...
simple question lang. Many are wondering, when should I start considering buying my first home? At what point ba, anong financial standing for you to believe na pwede ka na bumili ng una mong bahay dito sa Canada?
If you are able and it's your primary home, if you were able, we always say it's yesterday, right? A lot of time, yesterday means you should have done it because it depends though. Kasi kung rent mo is very mura and you can save money, what are your goals in life, diba?
Yeah.
But in the long run, purchasing a home and you're able to, let's say may mga bungalow na nabibili and you're able to buy that, may separate entrance, right? You're able to rent the bottom or rent the upstairs. Magkano lang babayad mo kung allowed na yung income mo. Marami akong kwento tungkol dyan. I have customers, 2 families, 3 families buying one house. In 2019, they bought a house together. Husband and wife, and then yung sister, right? They bought a house. 2019. In 2022, they were able to sell the house, take $80,000 each, and bought their own house separately.
First home nilang lahat yung 2018.
First home nila yung lahat yun.
Oh.
Even if it's not your first home, everybody's entitled for minimum down payment if it's your primary home.
Kahit yung Ate Susa, kahit sa akin, di ba? Basta titirahan ko pag kumuha ko ng panibagong
Yes.
bahay,
You
diba?
can keep your money. A lot of people, they do the example kay Kuya Poto, he will never put 20% down. Unless at the time you buy something over like $1 million, you don't have a choice. But now, different story na ngayon, mga 1.5 na you can put 5 and 10%, diba? But yeah, a lot of people, they choose to have their cash, diversify it. If you have RSPs or whatever, tax fee, any investment, if it's doing well, then diversify your investment. Keep your money, or maybe in the future you'll have an adventure with another person, buy a rental, or rent your existing home and buy another property. That's how you grow your wealth. I think it's
yung sinasabi kasi nila, pagka daw hindi ka nagbayad ng 20%, hindi ka na magbabayad ng insurance, di ba? Ang sinasabi nila.
If you have the 20 or more, do it. It's not for everybody. But if I say I have customers that has 15% and 10% down payment, I always say, hey, let's see what you have left, right? Do the minimum, because at the end of the day, when you move to that house, guess what? You're going to end up buying this, buying that, beautifying this, doing this. You're going to end up having lines of credits and stuff. You're better off putting the minimum down payment, then you have cash to do anything you want, and free of debt ka when you move to the house. So maraming aspect. Again, each and every situation is different ng customer, di ba? So you really need to say hi, wag mahiya, because without you, wala kaming trabaho. So kaya mahiya. Magtatanong.
Ito, Ate Susan, I think maganda. Ito yung sinasabi ko kay Mark kasi plano ni Mark, let's say, plano ni Mark umalis na dyan sa tinitirahan niya ngayon. And he's planning to sell it, then move to another place, then buy a new house. Sabi ko sa kanya, ba't mo ibibenta, pare? Pwede namang paupahan mo yan, babataas, dalawa yung income mo. Then, I don't know, siguro yung helok na sinasabi mo, pwede mong makuha yon, gamitin mong pang down payment sa second property mo. Pwede ba yung ganon? Diba?
But yung bahay nyo ngayon, Mark, is there a legal separate entrance right now, or you're planning to...
Wala siyang legal.
Wala pa. So, pag pinarentahan yung bahay nyo, it's gonna act as one family home. Pwedeng gamitin yung income nun. If the rent will be sufficient with the mortgage that you have, again, calculation is different. Kung if you're able to purchase another property and leave your house and yung renter magbayad ng mortgage mo, that would be your retirement money, right? In the long run. Again, different situation. You just need to do a calculation kung saan mo gusto mapunta in the future.
Pero pwede yun, Ate Susan, kumuha siya ng loan against sa property niya na yan para gamitin sa down payment sa susunod niyang primary home.
Majority of people.
Ganun talaga ginagawa, no, Ate Susan, no?
That's what I did on my condo when I bought it. Yung first home my first home na binili ko, I extracted down payment from there to purchase the condo.
Mm-hmm.
So the condo when I bought, I was able to put 5% down because it's my second home. We were living dun sa so pwedeng 5% yon. You don't have to yung second home to be If
Ayan,
you're
Mark.
purchasing a rental, you don't need 20%. Some people, what they do is they would live in that house, the first home, and then after a few years, they would rent that and then buy their primary home and then keep doing it until they have like 4 or 5 properties. Kasi
Oh.
pwede mo na iparent yun. Yeah, and every time you buy, you can put minimum down payment as long as it's your primary home. Yes.
Okay, we promised our viewers that they can ask Ate Susan some questions. Pasensya na
Okay.
kayo, medyo last minute lang yung pag-advise namin dun sa Facebook page. But, eto, Ate Susan, I hope you don't mind, we're gonna ask ka. Isa lang naman yung nagtanong, wala namang humabol. Only our suking Chris Estavillo ang may tanong. Yan. Siya din actually ang isa sa mga humingi ng mortgage specialist. Sabi niya, can you ask, wait lang, laki, Seymour pala. Can you ask Ate Susan about consolidated mortgage, pros and cons? Good idea ba or not? Mag-renew daw sila ng mortgage sa April. What is the best thing to do to pay out mortgage faster na hindi masyado mabigat sa kanilang bulsa? Okay, nasa RBC daw siya, Ate Susan. Plus paying extra amount bi-weekly for the principal. Ayan.
Okay. So, ang sagot dyan, it can be a pros, or it can be a con. Again, depending on how much you need. Ano ba yung isasama mo? 19%, 20%? Is it a car loan? Anong importante sa'yo?
Yeah.
Yung
May
cash
sinabi
flow
siya
mo.
dito, Ate Susan, consolidated mortgage, which means our car loan balance plus house mortgage combined with RBC's bi-weekly payments.
Okay. Kung malaki ang magiging diferensya, makakahinga ka ng mas maganda, consolidating your car loan, then I suggest you would. A lot of times, pag may nagko-consolidate, they would stretch it back to 30 years because you're refinancing. Consolidation mortgage, refinancing, they're the same, different terms lang. If cash flow ang importante sa'yo, then yes, do it. You can stretch back the amortization to 30 years. Okay? So instead, let's say nababay ka 2,100 sa mortgage and 800 sa kotse, that's 2,900. When you do it on the mortgage, maybe magiging 2,100 din ang payment mo because you can stretch it back to 30 years. It's not a bad thing when you do 30 years. That's just a number. Now that you freed up yourself no $900 estimate payment more 800, don't think of that as, hey, freebie na tayo ng 800. If you are able to put that money back, basically 300 extra payment, there's called double payment, lump sum payment, prepayment, whatever you call it, plug it back into the mortgage. Yung 30 years na kinatatakutan ng mga tao, it doesn't have to be necessarily 30 years. Every year when you put so much money, again, example ko sarili ko, I had 30 years but I was putting every single tax refund ko. From 30, naging 24. From 24, naging 17 instead of 5 years lang. I was ahead 12 years instead of 5 years. So don't look at the 30 years as 30 years na may babayaran yung mortgage number. No,
parang retired ka na, mamamatay ka na, binabayaran mo.
Unless you leave it like that and you just don't care because I'm gonna pay, if I don't have a mortgage, I'll pay rent anyways. Just leave it because better yung cash flow, enjoy life, right? But if you wanna see your mortgage payment just go low, then you can do extra payment, lump sum payment and all. There's a lot of things that you can ask.
Ang galing
Mm-mm.
niya.
Nagaganyan ka ba, Mark?
Hindi, yun nga. Pag nag-renew ako, baka gawin ko yung 30, tapos lagyan mo pa ng bababa. Just a number nga lang talaga.
Kasi, yeah, less stress yun sa buhay ng tao when you know
Oo
you
nga.
have a set payment, but you have to be able to be organized for yourself then kasi as a mortgage advisor or agent, I can tell when people has issues or problem and I suggest and I don't think this is the best product for you kasi pag HELOC, I've seen it all through 23, 24 years. If they have a habit of using the funds somewhere else, some of them may nagsusugal, may I wouldn't suggest kasama na ganon. I wouldn't suggest because in a way it's my responsibility to tell them, hey, this your goal. If you do this, you're gonna be stuck and just owe that money on HELOC. If you're just gonna be paying interest payment forever, unless that's how you want it, then this is not the product for you. HELOC is meant for maybe emergency, maybe for investment purposes. But if you have like I said, may different channels here po to. if you were to use that somewhere else and just use it and ano yung tawag doon, gamitin mo lang doon. Kasi very tempting when you have a HELOC, right? If you're not organized, you have discipline.
Narinig ko minsan, binabayad nila dun sa mga utang nila. Inuubos nila yung utang na malano lahat para isa na lang yung babayaran nila dun sa HELOC na lang.
Pwede yun. If you have a mortgage that's not renewing, do a HELOC right away to have a better cash flow and better interest. You save money. But if you're renewing upon maturity, combine all your loans and mortgage into one and ask for a HELOC on the side for emergency, because your mortgage will always be a better rate than the HELOC, and the payment would be just one payment. You can still have a HELOC on the side kung may natira pang pwede.
Parang Ate Susan, kunyari, ito example, marami to malamang, yung mga natin. Kunyari, magre-renew ako ng mortgage ng 200, kunyari, no? Magre-renew ako. Kunyari, may utang ako ng kotse, may utang akong credit card, may utang akong line of credit. Pwede ko siyang isama lahat dun sa another mortgage? Para
one in one lang. Isa na lang. And then if you have a space up to 80%, let's say yung 300 yung value, 240 pwede mong hiramin. Lahat ng pwede mong samahan 230. Pwede ka pa rin magkaroon ng HELOC ng 10,000 kasi 240 ang pwede mong hiramin for the total amount, diba? 230 mortgage portion, HELOC mo 10,000. So may emergency ka dyan. Instead of using a credit card, owing a credit card monthly, then doon mo bunutin.
At saka malilinis lahat yung utang mo sa sasakyan, credit card, isa na lang payment ang babayaran mo.
Isa na lang. Like again, if I'm hearing this, cash flow would be better for you. And then just be disciplined enough when you have extra money. It's either you start doing tax-free or whatever's more important to you, RSP or investment, or put it back to the mortgage and keep paying your mortgage down. That way your equity is growing back up again, right? So, a lot of things you can do.
Interest rate mababa kasi 4 point something kaysa doon laban sa 19% sa, di ba, sa mga credit card.
No, again, that's a savings kapag ganun. Hands down, if you have 19 or more, consolidated, if you have the ability and equity, you would mas makakatipid.
Maraming magigising ngayon.
Oo. Ayun mukhang kulang tong na to mukhang kulang tong usapan na to, kulang yung oras natin.
But at least that's a glimpse, okay? Sa consultation, if you do wanna try out itong siya.
Ang pinakamahalaga talaga, kontakin nyo si Ate Susan. Ayan. Pagkatapos nitong mapanood nyo, kontakin nyo kaagad. Huwag lang gabi kasi si Kuya Puto sasagot sa inyo pag gabi.
Consultation is free, Ate Susan, di ba? Ano ba?
Yeah, walang bayad ang consultation. I don't mind. Like, I've been helping clients even with advice. You don't have to necessarily come to me. I'm just happy to. If I have time, like I said, I do calls, video calls. I'm 90% at home working. I do visit clients' office or their house because I'm mobile. But if I have time, you would know. You can message me, hey, Ate Susan, I have a question here. And that's okay. It's as easy as, I'm here to help. I don't have to necessarily, I don't have to be necessarily be your mortgage agent or specialist, because sometimes you don't get the proper advice sa banco or anything like that. But if you find and you have a relationship with someone sa banco, stick with them, right? Like, that's just what I say. Because I'm a little biased on that kasi nung nasa banco ko, I know I did my all for the client to take care of them. So hopefully you find one.
Screenshot nyo na yung contact number ni Ate Susan, mga Dre, no? Just in case na kailangan nyo siya anytime. Mark, screenshot mo naman.
Pasensya na kayo, naglalag yung utak ko minsan.
No problem, yeah. But thank you so much, Ate Susan, pasensya na. Mahigit isang oras tayo.
Hanggang sa ulitin yata to, Ate Susan,
Okay lang yun. At least, nagkaano na tayo. Kinakabahan ako kanina kasi I only do one-on-one with my clients. I don't really do hindi ko kagaya niyo ng mga stars So,
yan sa
star.
Mga celebrity.
Si Kuya Puto sanay kasi yan
pag napanood nila to, Ate Susan, doon sila magbibigay ngayon ng mga tanong. Diba? So, siguro, follow up natin sa'yo or
ano
man,
Ate Susan, sa anniversary ng Spot Pinoy. Kung may tanong kayo na sa tungkol sa mortgage, nandun si Ate Susan, tanungin nyo na ng live.
Yeah, Ate Susan,
Yeah.
come to
Oo.
our event and meet them, di ba? Who
Saka
knows?
for our kababayans who want to embark career at the bank, I'm willing and able to give advice because I see a lot of people that has potential. When I was dagdag ko lang to, when I was a branch manager, I have recruited so many kababayans sa bangko. And I know when I see a person, I know when I see talent.
Ate
Hanggang
Susan,
ngayon,
ano ba yan? Excuse me. Per hour ba yun? Per hour?
sa RBC,
Pag nagtrabaho ka sa
Oh,
bank, per hour o
no,
month?
salary ang bangko. So you have
Oh,
benefits.
Oo.
Pag nag-hire ka ng full-time, you have full benefits per hour. Pag absent ka, bayad ka pa rin. Hindi kaya sa iba pag ganyan, let's say factory work, pares. Ang factory work, minsan mas mahal pa yung bayad nila, di ba? But ang difference nun is if you work at, mag-absent ka, hindi ka bayad. Dito, you're hired as salaried, mag-call in sick ka, not like you would be calling in sick for that, di ba? Bayad ang kasi salary. Yun ang difference. May bonus, may salary, incentives. Baka kung may gusto kang gawin, you just look at the job posting. Yung job posting, anong gusto mong mangyari sa buhay mo? Anong kailangan nila? Magpag-aralan mo. Internal. You can learn internally. You don't have to have other degrees outside. They will pag-aralin ka nila, kayo, para
Naku, si Ina, parang nag-glow yung mata mo, Ina. Interesado ka ba dyan,
Oo,
Ina?
Mag-google na ako ng mga job opening ng teller niyan, Ate Susan.
Ayan,
Mabilis,
sabi
ang
mo na
dami
si Ate
ng
Susan, no?
Parang
6 months to 1 year to kung talagang kung may managerial ka, and yeah, it's public knowledge ang sweldo sa bangko, but then there are other salaries that you don't see, but there's a career at the bank, and ang pension sa bangko is not so bad. Of course, government work is still the best if you get into a government job, right?
susunod si Ina sa
But yeah.
bangko.
Oo.
Oh, manda kayong lahat, mga applyan ko, pagdating ko dyan, ha? Ang dami ko na nga. Ay, no. Oh, Ate Susan, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Salamat.
Oo.
Yeah, I think
Hindi nga,
another
seryoso.
episode is supposed to.
Ate Susan, seryoso nga sa anniversary ng Spot Pinoy. Pwede ka magtayo ng small booth mo doon kung may venue tayo para doon dediretso yung mga gustong magtanong.
Saan sa Toronto? Sa Toronto
Oo,
yung kanina
Toronto.
sinabi niyo sa Meron na ba kayong na venue?
Yun ang
Kasi
problema.
Kailangan naghahanap pa kami,
Wala.
Ate Susan.
I might have venue kaya lang sa Scarborough eh.
Oh, why not? Anong venue,
Yes.
Ate Susan?
Check ko i-send ko sa iyo yung Filipino at ask ko kilala ko yung owner.
Oh, di ba,
Yeah.
di ba?
Check
Sige,
ko yung
pag-usapan natin yan, Ate Susan.
Oo.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Salamat
Okay,
ulit.
Susan.
Guys, we
Thank
will
you
end
so
this
much.
episode here. Thank you so much.
Oo, sobrang thank you, Ate Susan.
Nanonood ako ng mga video, silent viewer ako. Pero yung sa fasting natin, nakakatulong kasi nainganyo ko pag nag-ano ka eh.
Yeah.
Okay lang. Advice is life pa rin, kaya lang once a day. So, anyhow.
Okay, so yeah,
Salamat.
guys. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Ate Susan.
We'll end
Good
Kuya
night.
Kuto, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Ang silent manager,
Salamat.
nasaan na?
Mahusay na manager yan eh.
Okay.
Salamat
Bye.
guys.
Good night.
Bye.